Hello everyone, welcome to IIT-JAM Chemistry tutorial number 46, and this is lecture number 5 of the physical chemistry chapter solid state. The subtopic of this lecture number 5 is structure of cesium chloride. The unit cell of cesium chloride follows a body-centered cubic or BCC lattice where 8 chloride ions surrounding one cesium plus ion or vice versa. That is, one chloride ion is surrounded by 8 cesium plus ions. The limiting radius ratio of this BCC lattice is 0.732 to 1.0. Suppose this is a unit cell where a cation is surrounded by 8 anions and all of them are in touch with each other. Now this is the edge length, this is A. Here from the center of the anion to the surface of the anion it is R minus. Here from the surface of the anion to the center of the anion again R minus. So it is twice R minus. Now from here to here, this is the body diagonal in blue colored line. In blue color the line represents the body diagonal of this unit cell, and the length of this body diagonal is A root 3. Now what is the distance from A? Is A root 3. The distance from the center of this anion to the surface of this anion is R minus. Now from the surface of this cation to the center of this cation is R plus. From the center of this cation to the surface of this cation R plus again, and from the surface of this anion to the center of this anion is R minus. So it is 2R plus plus 2R minus. Therefore the ratio of the body diagonal and edge is A root 3 by A. In place of A root 3 we put 2 into R plus plus R minus, and in place of A we put here 2R minus. 2 cancelling, A cancelling each other. Here we get R plus by R minus plus 1, and here in the right hand side we get root 3. Now take this plus 1 to the right hand side, it becomes minus 1. Now we know the value of root 3, it is 1.732. So 1.732 minus 1 equals to 0.732. So this is the minimum value of the R plus by R minus ratio, and the maximum value should be 1.0. Now this is the crystal structure of cesium chloride where one cesium is being surrounded by 8 chloride, or one chloride ion is being surrounded by 8 cesium plus ions. Here this chloride ion is being surrounded by 8 cesium ions. Cesium ions are colored in green, chloride ions are faintly colored in off-white. So this is actually formed after interpenetration of 2 simple cubes. That is, actually the chloride ions forms primitive space lattice. On the other hand, the cesium plus ions also form the primitive space lattice. After interpenetration, they take the position in such a way that the vertex of the unit cell made by the cesium ion takes the position of the body center of the unit cell made by the chloride ions, and vice versa. Therefore, here you can see that the simple cubic structures have interpenetrated in such a way that the structure looks like a body-centered cubic. Now the question arises, what should be the XRD pattern? So in order to get the maximum intensity of light after diffraction, the density of the electron should be either high, very high, or large density, or the size of the ion should be greater. Therefore the cesium plus ions, maybe it is cation, but since the size of the cesium plus ion is very large, therefore it will produce a high intense reflection maxima, unlike sodium or potassium. In case of sodium, the Na plus ions are so small, that is why the 1 planes, the first layer, the third layer, the fifth layer produced weak intensity, while the second or fourth layer produced high intensity due to presence of chloride ions. But here, irrespective of being cation or anion, all the ions would play this equal role in producing the reflection maxima. Therefore, in case of cesium chloride, the 100 planes, actually which is 200 plane, it is a repetition, alternate repetition of chloride ions or cesium ions. So the 100 plane, that is the 200 plane of cesium chloride, is made up of either chloride ions or cesium ions. They are alternately getting repeated. The 110 planes, it is made up of equal number of cesium and chloride ions, while the 111 plane is actually the 222 plane, and here also this is an alternate repetition of either chloride ion or cesium ion. But since all the cesium ions are very much active in producing the highly intensity reflection maxima, therefore whether it is chloride or cesium, it does not matter in order to produce the reflection maxima during XRD. Therefore, the chloride ions form a primitive close packing type of lattice. Each cesium plus ion is surrounded by 8 chloride ions and it is in touch with all the chloride ions. Conversely, each chloride ion gets surrounded by 8 cesium plus ions and it is in touch with all the cesium plus ions. Finally, it makes an 8:8 space lattice. So that's all about cesium chloride structure. Now let's discuss some questions here. This question came in IIT-JAM 2016. The coordination numbers of cesium plus and chloride ions in the cesium chloride structure respectively are, you are given 4 options here: 4:4, 4:8, 6:6 and 8:8. The answer is known to all of us. It is 8:8. So option D is the correct option. Next, 2010 question: draw a properly labeled unit cell diagram of cesium chloride. Now you have to draw. Nowadays, during 2025 or onwards, you are appearing in the online exam, so you do not have the provision to write descriptive answers, but for your knowledge this is important. That is why I have input this question here. And also this question is also important: show through calculations that there is only one cesium chloride per unit cell. This question may be arranged in such a way that online questions can be answered. So in order to find out the answer, we have to see what about the space BCC lattice of cesium chloride. These are the chloride ions, say, and this is the cesium plus ion. Okay, now in the center one cesium, and this is 1/8 of the chloride ion which is inside the unit cell. Therefore chloride ion in each corner is 1/8. Now how many corners are here? There are total 8 numbers of corners. Therefore the total number of chloride ions inside the unit cell is 8 into 1/8 equals to 1. Therefore 1 cesium and 1 chloride ion inside the unit cell. That means one unit cell consists of 1 cesium chloride molecule. Next question: in cesium chloride structure, the number of cesium plus cations that occupy second nearest neighbors locations of a cesium plus ions. That means 1 cesium, then ignore the chloride, then go to the next nearest chloride cesiums. Okay. In this case, in order to find out the answer, you have to take help of this type of structure where 3 cross signs, when superimposed, then this type of structure is produced if each stroke of a cross sign is made up of 3 unit cells. So this is a 3D diagram where you can see there are 7 number of unit cells. One is in the center, and this is second, third, fourth and fifth. This one is the 6th, and this one is in the back side is the 7th one. So in each center of the body of these unit cells, there are each cesium plus ions each. So around this cesium ion, there is an octahedral structure made up by the nearest neighboring cesium ions. This is the equatorial position. Look the movement of the cursor. This is the equatorial position, and this is the axial position. So this is octahedral type of structure, and 6 cesium plus ions in the second nearest neighbor are surrounding this central cesium cation. So the answer should be option A, 6. Next question: draw the unit cell of cesium chloride lattice. Draw the 100 and 110 planes separately and indicate the positions of cesium and chloride ions. This came in 2006. Those days, for descriptive question, you had to draw this structure. But this 100 plane and 110 plane, you should have some clear concept about that. So that is why I put this question here. So this is cesium chloride structure. Let us repeat this picture here in order to draw these planes. Okay. So 100 planes is this plane, this plane and this plane, but in order to cover this ion we have to input yet another lattice plane here. So this is the first one and we are putting this one. Okay, now 110, this is 110. Okay, and it is covering this central ion, so simply this is 110. Okay, and as I have said that this 100, that is why for inputting this one becomes 200, but here it was not required, so 110 remains the same 110. So that's all for this cesium chloride structure. Thank you and have a nice day.